This is just a beautiful valley. So I think it narrows there to the front. Let's continue because the road is still some distance to go, and I want to go and check out what Banguk Private Nature Reserve looks like. I think there's a promise of beauty. Let's go and see. Maybe I can just point out that this farm that you can see here is called Stoneberg Farm. I will also indicate it on the link that I share in the description of the video. So Stoneberg Farm is a waypoint that I think is important to follow on these roads if you also want to do it. But let's go. Now it is to Banguk Private Nature Reserve. It is 14 kilometers, but it's going to take 24 minutes to ride. I expect quite a bit of sand and so on still to to fight. Let's go. Yeah, this sandy track. But at least it is not sand all the way. There are certain patches that one can go a bit quicker. But for most part, it takes significant concentration to just stay on the bike. But yeah, Banguk Private Nature Reserve. I've been looking forward to ride through that nature reserve. But as I said before, that is a nature reserve that I could find almost no information on. Despite my best efforts on internet to find information about Banguk, I simply couldn't find it. So if anybody looking at this video knows more about Banguk Private Nature Reserve, and you have maybe a link or a website that describes and discusses it a bit more in detail, please share it with me. I would like to read it because I might miss a few things now riding through. This is the part of my trip that I'm the least prepared for. I typically do research the route that I will take and plan it out a bit, and I want to know a bit more about the places I ride through. But Banguk, I'm just going to explore from scratch with you. I know nothing more than it being a reserve there, very close to the Goedverwacht mountains. And we are now very close. Let's find our way there. Okay, now I don't have a choice but to open the gate. Yeah, so this gate says, beware of the dog, enter at your own risk. Sounds a bit ominous. Let me see whether I get through this farm safely. It is now 25 minutes past 3 in the afternoon, so we're probably past the heat of the day. Oh, didn't expect to do some water as well, but let me just get through the water here. Okay, all good. So there is some proper farming activity here. Let's just keep my eye on the GPS to see which direction to go. Seems to be this way. Yep. And another gate. Well, hopefully I passed the dog quite safely. Didn't see any dogs on that farm. Yeah, suddenly I'm on a very good road. I can ride significantly faster than many kilometers before this. This is a very neat little road. It seems like it's been scraped recently, so it's not a sandy track, so one can take the corners with much more confidence. You just check now, I need to go right here, it seems. Yeah, no, there is certainly a few gates to pass. Yeah, but just look at the views over there. Yeah, that must be the Goedverwacht mountains. So we should be heading towards the right hand side also very soon. Oh, this is a fantastic little road. Yeah, this is so much fun to ride. This is great. With this picture perfect view. Oh, there's another gate in front, but it seems they are all open and I need to make a left-hand turn here. Yo, I would not have managed without a GPS to take these roads, because there's just many roads here. But yeah, it seems I need to go to the left. All good. But a few twists and turns here, just to keep things interesting. Yeah, but this is a beautiful valley. And this is still, well, what is it, autumn? I mean, we are still getting to winter when lots of rain will come, so I suppose this valley can be much, much greener than this. But it's already so beautiful. Yet another gate. What is it? The fourth one now. Lost a bit of count. There are indeed a lot of roads here. You see roads going out that side. The GPS is more showing us going out that side, so yeah, I'm just following the track. We are just below 10 kilometers away from Banghoek Private Nature Reserve, so we are making progress getting there, although stopping at closed gates does take a bit of time. Now this still seems to be the right track. Some parts remain a little bit sandy, but it was really fun to ride that piece of road now, building up some speed. Okay, keeping left. All good. Okay, this drift is dry. This is fun. Building up some speed. But it's a sharp turn to the right here. Yeah, so another sharp turn to the right. I suspect this might be one of the more bigger, dirt roads. So yeah, we now probably reach the road that is going straight through Banguk Nature Reserve. But what a ride through these farm roads. Fantastic, I loved it. I hope you are enjoying it with me. But let me just try and make now a bit progress. So it's only about 7 kilometers to get to Banguk Nature Reserve. Well, this is an excellent dirt road. 80 kilometers per hour, no problem. Beautiful, beautiful. You can see the bougainvillea here, just giving the most beautiful purple shades to the landscape. Look there as well. Some pink and purple and white mixed together. I suspect that Banghoek Private Nature Reserve is now the road that goes up there. It seems like we will need to go uphill a bit. But how exciting is this to go and explore this area? The road is appearing there into the mountain. Yeah. So I don't think I've mentioned it for those of you that does not understand Afrikaans. Of course, bang and hoek means, bang means afraid and hoek means corner. So this is, I suppose, the corner to be afraid, or fear corner, I don't know. Not sure why it is called that. As I said, I have no information of this nature reserve, so I have no idea what the origin also of the naming is. Oh, this is interesting. Yeah, so the GPS says I'm 3 minutes away from Banghoek, so we practically should be in Banghoek now. This is Goedverwacht, and there on top of the mountain there's some farming activities, some fruit being produced there, so lots of farms on top of this mountain. So I think that is a very interesting place also to explore. So maybe there is a bit of a hint there on what might be happening in the next video. This is just a beautiful valley. So I think it narrows there to the front. And then some lush green, probably farming activity there at the bottom of the valley. Yeah, no, this Banguk Valley, I really enjoy riding through it. I trust you are enjoying this beauty with me. But we are moving on to Goedverwacht now. The town of Goedverwacht is still about 35 kilometers away from Banguk, but I suspect we will need to get onto a tar road, the road connecting Veldrift and Piketberg. I think that is the tar road we need to connect up with. This is where this road is going. But for now, the Banguk Valley is still continuing. Just look at it. The only way this road can go is twisting to the left. Yeah, so I think we are now very close to exiting the Banguk Private Nature Reserve. What a ride. We are now just more than 8 kilometers away from the R399 connecting Veldrift with Piketberg. So we need to get onto that tar road for a small stretch before we can make our way to Goedverwacht. I think we are just taking this little uphill section now to get out of the Banguk Valley. Yeah, this last part of the road coming from Banguk is a challenge. I'm not too far. I think it's about 3 kilometers or so from the tar road, but washboard and sand combination is testing me a bit to my limit to just get out of here. But this is what dirt road riding is all about, to have all kinds of conditions, and suddenly it's a bit better again. Okay, back to tar road. This was wonderful dirt road riding all the way from Aurora, so it was some time that I've since seen a tar road, so I might actually enjoy getting a bit onto tar. And on this tar road, suddenly doing a comfortable 100 kilometers per hour on my Honda CRF 300 Rally. As I've said in previous videos, this bike is very well set up for cruising. Not quick, not fast, but if you want to keep a steady speed like this, around 100 kilometers per hour, to just cruise, it's a perfect setup. with the added benefit, of course, that you can ride any dirt road, I feel. The Honda CRF 300 Rally is actually set up for long distances. It's got a 12.8 litre fuel tank. So with this bike, if I ride nicely, I can get well beyond 350 k's on one tank of fuel. So you don't need to fill it up all the time. So this makes for really easy cruising, and also having the peace of mind that you don't have to look for fuel all the time. We are approaching the turn-off to Goedverwacht now, here from the 399. We're just crossing the Platkloof River here, and the road into Goedverwacht, I think, follows the Platkloof River. So that is the direction we are going. So it's only about 7 kilometers to Goedverwacht from this turn-off. Now Goedverwacht, for those of you that are not Afrikaans or Dutch speakers, means good expectations. So I cannot think of a more apt name for a town where one expects to see a few beautiful things, and this is what Goedverwacht does offer you. Yeah, so the town of Goedverwacht has got a long history. It actually originated as a cattle farm in 1810, and this cattle farm in the end became this Moravian missionary village. One of the last farmers here, his name is Hendrik Skalkburger. It was an interesting story because he had slaves, and he was very much part of the emancipation of slaves. And when he set up his will, he agreed with his slave, her name was called Manisa, and she's from Indian descent, that he will let her inherit the farm if she looks after him into old age. And this is what happened. So Hendrik Skalkburger then died, and yes, the farm was left to Manisa, his slave. And apparently his children was very unhappy about this, and they fought this in court, and twice they took it to court and twice they lost, and justice prevailed, and Manisa inherited it. And Hendrik Skalkburger in his will said, well, she can then stay on the farm and it's her property for the rest of her life, and then her descendants can then decide to sell it amongst themselves. So when Manisa died, her children decided, no, they're going to sell this to the Moravian missionaries. They sold this in 1889, but this area was already a Moravian missionary settlement because the church was already built in 1846, and we're going to look at this church now. It is a very beautiful church. It's built of stone and clay, 1846, but in 1889 this whole farm area became the property of the Moravian missionaries. So that's how this story came about. I think it's quite an interesting twist for a slave to inherit, and then the legacy of those slaves resulting in a town called Goedverwacht. Where the name of Goedverwacht comes from, I don't know. But apparently, apart from the church, there's also a water mill here in Goedverwacht. So it seems to be a feature of Moravian missionary stations. You will recall there at Mamre in the first video, we also had a Moravian missionary church, and they also had a water mill. It's interesting things to have a look at. But you can see now the valley stretches in here. It's quite a bit of a spread out town. Manisa, the slave that died in 1888, apparently her grave is still in this very graveyard at Goedverwacht. So if one goes to the graveyard, you will be able to find her grave. Yeah, so the watermill is actually a museum, so you can see there's a sign to the watermill museum down there, but there is the church. Just look at it. How beautiful. A church built out of stone and clay. This is really a spectacular building. So let's see whether I can maybe park closer to the church. Yeah, the gate is open, so let me just turn up here. Oh no, this is a nice building. Beautiful, beautiful building. Yeah, I made a stop here in front of the beautiful Moravian church in Goedverwacht. This is a unique design. I cannot recall seeing a church built like this from stone and clay, and then the white edging on the doors and the windows. I think that is just the beautiful touch that makes it a very beautiful site. Built in 1846, and I think the story of Manisa the slave and how it came about that this farm was inherited and then sold to Moravian missionaries is quite an interesting story. And yeah, Manisa is still in this graveyard. She's buried in 1888. So let's just have a bit of a closer look at this church. I find it quite fascinating. Yeah, the white edging on all the edges, the door frames, the window frames, and even these little support structures on the stone walls. It's got its white edging. Beautiful. There is the bell also here in the distance. Here next to the church in Goedverwacht. This brings us then to the end of this video, from Aurora to Goedverwacht, but of course taking the back roads. I hope you enjoyed this trip with me. I think there were two beautiful places along the road. Danielshoogte Private Nature Reserve, and then of course Banghoek Private Nature Reserve. This was a beautiful ride, and I really enjoyed the dirt roads. It was a challenge. There were stretches where I had to go in first gear at walking pace just to keep the bike upright, but lots of dirt road riding, and was very enjoyable. I hope you enjoyed watching this with me, and then of course ending up here in the beautiful town of Goedverwacht. There are more things to see in Goedverwacht, but I'm going to stop the video here. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. This trip is still continuing, although it is quite late in the day. It is now, I think, 5:20 in the afternoon. But I have a very special place where I'm going to sleep over tonight, and I will bring that to you in the next video, so please check out for that. Thank you very much for joining, and keep well. Bye-bye.